Hi, my name is Hanny Chang. I'm studying International Studies here at the University of Utah.
My name is Maggie Anderson, and I am a junior. I'm studying elementary education, and I went to Stone Town, Zanzibar, Tanzania, to teach at a primary school there.
My name is Rick Blaylock. I am a computer science major here at the University of Utah. I'm actually in the entertainment arts engineering emphasis.
Hi, I'm Avantika. I'm a PhD student of bioengineering at the University of Utah.
My name is Jessica Lee, and this is my husband, Jonathan Lee.
I studied with API in Granada, Spain for 5 months from January until the very beginning of June, and it was the best experience of my life.
I'm from China, from Peking University in Beijing. So my major is geography, especially human geography or economic geography.
My name is Daniel. I'm a second-year master's student at the University of Utah.
I did my study abroad at the University of Oviedo in Oviedo, Spain, in the intensive language summer program.
My name is Stephanie, and I'm a sophomore this year at the University of Utah. And last summer, I went on a study abroad trip to Tianjin, China to study the language.
I'm Kaya Palamaki. I studied political science and international studies, and I studied abroad in Graz, Austria for a full year through, I guess it was the ISEP program.
I'm currently a senior at the university. I'm studying Spanish, and I have a minor in chemistry and integrative human biology. So, kind of weird, but my overall goal is to go to med school, which I'm actually applying for this year.
My name is Julie Clark. I did my international experience in Iași, Romania. It was an internship, and I'm studying international studies at the U.
I'm Amelia McCurdy, and my major is social work and psychology, and a minor in French.
I'm an accounting major.
My name is Eduardo Piacava Passanesi. I was born in Brazil. I moved to the United States when I was 7 years old.
So my name is Laramie Riggs. I am a speech communication and international studies with an emphasis on global health double major. And I actually am a senior this year and was lucky enough this summer to do an internship in Ecuador, where I was going through a program called Child and Family Health International, where we do a comparative study between urban and rural healthcare.
I grew up in Utah. I went to high school here, and I really didn't want to go to the University of Utah because I wanted to get out of Utah.
It was just something I had always been wanting to do, and going into college, it was something I had expected to do, and I felt like it was the kind of right year to do it.
And then I learned about the study abroad program, and that it's not any more expensive tuition-wise to study out of the country than it is here. So that helped with my decision. And then, so when I got here, I just kind of decided to do you have to do a certain number of credit hours, so I did those as fast as I could, and then I left for a year, so.
I wanted a new experience, wanted to get outside of Utah.
Well, first of all, I decided not to go through the U because they didn't offer any programs in the south of Spain, and the south of Spain has been kind of this ideal, beautiful dreamland for me forever.
I was just kind of going through the different study abroad options that were offered. I went to the study abroad fair, and I kind of considered doing an independent program, but what's so great about the program at the U is that they work hand in hand with the university in Oviedo, so my credits immediately transferred over.
So it is a good experience to study here. Also, maybe when I come to China, it is a good experience to study in USA, may find a good job. Thank you.
The only thing that I could do that would have gotten any sort of school credit, so I either would have just been sitting on my butt doing nothing, or I could have gone to school and actually had some more fun in the process.
I was actually born in Romania, and I was adopted as a baby, and then this was my first trip back to the country.
My parents are immigrants, and I've grown up with the understanding of what it's like to be like an international student, to have international understanding. And then I had interest in choosing a major for international studies, and it's required, so I just went for it.
I just like everything Italian. I don't know. My friends think I'm weird, and she thinks I'm weird, but
no, not anymore. Now I'm really passionate about it after we went and visited and lived there.
It was a super interesting program where we had class in the morning and we had a field trip every afternoon to like all these sites that were involved in World War II. So it was really appealing for my major. And actually, before I went to Berlin, I spent like 7 days in Barcelona on vacation. to meet up with some old European friends that I had, and I fell in love with the city, and I just kind of knew, like, going into Berlin, like, oh man, I have to go back to Barcelona. So like when I got back that fall semester, I already started applying.
I chose the program, actually, I didn't have any idea what I wanted to do, so I just went to the Learning Abroad Center and told them my interests, and this just popped up perfectly. So I told them I wanted to go to a Spanish-speaking country because I really hoped to learn Spanish, and so it just happened that my interests and my interest for language coincided in the same country. So,
you know, study abroad wasn't my first experience traveling. My parents were able to get a job with airlines when I was in high school, and we kind of joke around how that's how poor people can travel. And so I had the opportunities to kind of begin to go to different states. And that was huge, especially the isolated cultural nature of Utah. Getting outside was really awesome, and then being able to go to my parents' homeland of Guatemala.
Mostly just to go on a trip. It turned into a lot more after I got there, but I really just wanted to explore.
Before that, it was always movies and film, and you know, me and my dad, that's what we would do growing up, watch movies, and that's how we traveled. Before I was able to really travel, that's how I traveled, was whether it was to the fantasy realm or to another place or to another time, film was kind of the way that I was able to do that.
I think the first time I was in Paris, which was a big city, and I'm from a small town, so that was a little overwhelming. This time I went to Tour France, which is a little bit mellow, a little bit closer to Salt Lake, and I got to stay with a family who I'm still homesick for. They were so wonderful. I had the perfect French mom and French dad, and the town was small and everybody was friendly, and I didn't have to speak English, which I think kind of rubs people the wrong way. And so when you go, even if your French is terrible and you're actually trying, they all responded a lot better to me and were a little more friendly.
This was really the first time I'd ever gone on a trip, especially internationally on my own without it being like a family trip sort of thing. So having that independence was, of course, a very different experience.
I think more than anything, it gave me the knowledge to know that I could be on my own in a different country, especially that I was independent enough that when I go out into the job world, I don't have to rely on anything other than myself and, you know, my confidence and my independence.
I mean, one thing, of course, which I found after coming here, to be honest, is that after coming to the US, I found that I needed to be a lot more independent. I mean, although there are definitely a lot of social events, and I found I found international students to hang out with, basically. So, yeah, even in my research lab, everywhere there are a bunch of international students, and they're very supportive and form a really great bunch of people. But the only thing I found is that even all that apart, at the core, like, I mean, you need to be very independent here in everything which you do. But in comparison to that, when I was in India, I was kind of like surrounded by family and people who would, I mean, yeah, it's kind of a very different social setup. So maybe it cannot be compared, but yeah, that's just something I found.